When you were diagnosed with testicular cancer, were you aware?
Not at all. I was preparing lessons for school. I was a biology teacher and prepared lessons for sex education, and was reading up in a children's book because I wanted to talk the way children talk.
Yeah.
And there was a chapter on all kinds of diseases, and there was like a small paragraph where they say testicle cancer is a young man's cancer, most common between 15 and 38. I was 30. When I read this, obviously I checked my nuts because I read that, and I felt a little lump, not bigger than the tip of my finger.
Wow.
And then I thought, okay, just because you read it now, then you think it's cancer. So I
Right.
tried to ignore that.
Yeah.
And after a week, I went to the doctor, and yeah, then it was cancer.
Wow.
So I was lucky because I've read it somewhere. I didn't knew about it. I didn't knew that it's a young man's cancer. I didn't knew about testicle cancer. And it was 19 years ago, and in Namibia, a small country, so
Yeah.
actually no information on that.
Wow. Now, once you realized you were diagnosed with cancer, what happened next? What were you feeling at that time?
I think at the beginning it's the state of shock. You can handle that. Or people often say you are strong, but I think that happens to every cancer patient because it takes a while till you realize what happened. And after a while, I would say 6 months later, I had the fear it comes back, and then I detected it too late. And I saw in the cancer clinic people getting treatment, chemotherapy, and everything. Some of them really slowly dying.
Yeah.
And that was that image that I had. I said, is this my way if I find out too late? So I turned into a depressed person at the end of the day because cancer was constantly on my mind. If you just feel a little itch or a pain somewhere, you think, oh, should I go to the doctor? Is this cancer maybe? So it actually drove me mad. And that's why I decided to resign. I sold my car and I resigned as a teacher and deputy principal, and I backpacked for 2 years around the world just to come to rest with cancer. And during that time,
Well, you still had cancer.
Yeah, it was 1.5 years later.
Okay.
During that time, you have to go for checkups
Right.
at the beginning every month and every 3 months. So I went for checkups, and there was no new thing. So it was clear after the chemotherapy,
Yeah.
but they say 5 years after you're diagnosed, the chances that it
come back.
come back. So at the beginning, it's a nightmare because you're always scared if you feel something is this cancer, should I go to the doctor? And it really, it's drove me mad. That's why I resigned and left. Just maybe it was because I was a teacher. Everybody was asking, "How are you?" And then you say, "I'm fine." And how's the cancer thing? And then I decided to resign. And if I'm somewhere in the world and somebody asks me, "How are you?" then it will be just, "How are you?"
Exactly.
Because they don't know my background. So I actually was looking for something to get a distance from the cancer, that I can cope with it easier. And I was traveling for 2 years and then returned to Namibia and started teaching again.
Okay.